Hello everyone, this is Ethan Merch, and in this record I will be presenting to you one more project that I was working maybe around 4, 5, 6 years ago. It's called Scala, the training company. They are providing in Australia courses in respect to the business, marketing, any kind of expertise towards the education, even specialities, and so on. So what they needed to do is to rebrand themselves and uplift to stand out in the market better. And I was enjoying working on this one. So again, I like to present my my categorization to explain a little bit. This screen is my favorite these days. So in this project, we'll be addressing brand identity systems and some collaterals, physically present assets that I also will be showing you what we did. Now, what's interesting in this project is that their brand guidelines will be quite massive, probably one of the most massive. Two projects I have that have a massive amount of pages. They also will have some kind of videography and photography guidelines from me to follow. Again, it's a first edition for the brand book, and should they want to continue, we would be evolving into the second and third versions based on how they evolve in the market. And then we will not have anything about the product SaaS. We'll have a website design and code. And that's quite a massive website that I needed to build and code. So these two will be addressing. Let's go into this right away. So I'm just showing you some results right now here, but we'll be walking through how we arrived to these results. I'll be showing to you the whole brand identity, website, and the code. I'll be just showing you how I did it. So let's go into this. I'll see if I will manage to do it quickly this time. Let's try. So in Figma, I always, as you know, go for the therapy. Back even at those times, I like to start with the decision maker to have conversations, asking right questions. These days, as I like to say, that I do quite professional business and brand therapies where I'm delivering observation, recommendation reports, and creativity and strategy reports as the beginning. I like to do those in the beginning to help my client to understand where they need to direct themselves to in respect to their business, brand, marketing, and design. So what I do, I learn everything what I need. In this case, they had their logo created, and the idea was to just a little bit explore more logo types if anything new can be presented. So I just came up with, this is the original logo. I just needed to refine it a little bit, just put it in some kind of places to give some kind of sense of style, played with different colors. And it's a chaotic aesthetical kind of process that I play with. And different versions, for example, Scala is kind of escalation, right? So steps. So I thought maybe steps like this. Removing, I didn't like, honestly, to be honest with you, I found this icon quite not standing out enough, not really being memorable, not really being unique, so to say, quite generic. So I was seeking ways to explore and try something new, maybe just Scala as this, without any kind of elements, but it also doesn't really make it that much memorable. So maybe Scala like a steps, this could be really good, but again, it doesn't really call attention. So we ended up staying with the same logo type. This is quite bold. This also was quite a bold idea, hard to read, but I think it was not the right direction. So eventually, sometimes it's good to give it a try. It was not the main focus. They really liked the logo that they had, but I wanted to play with something new to give some kind of new look and feel in respect to logo. We're staying with the same logo. So, a lot of processes, playing with the colors, for example. The idea of this brand is that they have branches. So yellow will be standing out for the generic category. I think blue will be for alumni or students. I don't remember. Or this one, alumni. So they have kind of different branches, and you'll see what we have there. Idea to play with steps was really good. But again, not everything is registered. You keep on playing as a designer, exploring different things like stickers or anything like that. Australia was a really good point. It's all about, it was when you talk, so when you do the therapies, you learn a lot. What they stand for, what they want to position themselves like, what you see they fond with, what they really biased towards to. And you see that they was really big deal about the Australian part and the Tasmania, because they started from Tasmania and moving forward. So the idea is also the signature of Australia. That's the whole focus. And you can see I start to play with things eventually. I will not go into the depths, but you will see that I'm playing with different shapes and fonts and colors, and you start to see the sample of color from this map arrives with a grayish kind of robe start to be a new element here, because kind of arrow ascension up. And you start to see how it comes together, like stylescape. Beautiful is that here I was partnering with my friend to this day. We were partners. She actually introduced this client, really interesting, So she was doing towards the business and branding strategy direction, and I was complementing shoulder to shoulder her with brand identity and website. So that was really beautiful partnership on this project. And we managed to get this asset into the branding from the one who created this mob. This was also really important to put this as an asset. So it was beautiful. So we can use this as a brand identity element. So these colors become kind of dictating the direction. Also cinematics, I explored again in brand identity because it's the first edition. I'm giving the footage direction as an example, and once they will record their own footage, we will integrate that into the second edition of the brand identity in order to know that this is the real material that they have created based on the reference that I have provided. So a lot of references. I like Nomen. I thought the idea is to give them that sense of reality, sense of cinematic touch, and I will give in brand identity. I'll show you the explanation how the footage should be presented. Also, some from Founder. Good footage of people speaking, the real thing of people speaking in space, of natural disposition was really important. So I played with different things. Other references, so the cinematic, realistic kind of the venue, the street, the location, the inside of the place where the events and teachings are happening, and real people presentation in a proper set. That's what was my direction towards the branding. And also faces where people look into the camera, positive and proper, not too much stock, but more closer towards reality. So that was and you can see how you can put any logo, almost any logo you can make beautiful on touch, so to say, on professional and trustworthy look and feel. You can apply that. It's all about ratio, about positioning, about distancing, and composition of all assets around that makes it be lifted up. So then I'm playing with roams on the photos. You keep playing with different things, like we indicating Tasmania, for example, and this is the blur effect. So you explore, you play, you have to play, enjoy, and you always bring out of nowhere something into the relatable format, so to say. You can see how yellows start to play. By the way, this is really beautiful. I think we didn't apply this kind of approach with the yellowish color, but I think it's really gives the depth and completion to this logo type that I was concerned about. You can see how buttons start to appear into the vision. These colors start to be kind of branch indicators, really beautiful. You can see so gradually this comes to different positioning arrow as indicator to the movement. Let's see. This also will be element that is registered to the brand identity. I never had a chance to use this pattern, but again, sometimes you provide some patterns in brand identity that I haven't yet tried to use, but maybe someone else will take it and try to play with it. But this was direction. So you can see how it comes beautifully together. I was really enjoying and happy with the results. I explored different cinematics and photography. Really like this natural look and feel to the cinematics. So that's what we'll be describing. Photography and videography, I'll be describing in a brand identity guidelines I'll be showing to you. So yeah, just giving a sense of depth of reality here, playing with different approach, maybe trying to play with these kind of patterns. Eventually, like for example, in cinematics, you can do this as emotion, as people appearing. This already you can see, oh, that's interesting. You can do this, use this something for the booklet or for the books. So you will see I'll have some assets in the brand identity guidelines. Now we can see how logo can be applied on different colors in the background with different naming. The business training company, they are the training company, but I say that you are the business training company. You need to define kind of more narrowed niche, but it makes sense. They're quite broad, to be honest, almost university-like. So you can see how we can apply really beautiful different kind of booklets that we can define eventually, gradually. You can see how different color we apply to see. They're really beautiful to differentiate, really, really well presented. Again, they're not complete. There's a way to organize, order, and make it sharper. But this is the chaotic process of defining, and then we're putting it together. The process is always chaotic. Allow yourself to play and explore, and then bring that to the composition of order. That's what I like about this process. It's just you allow yourself to go messy, and then you come and bring that to the relatability of information as a brand identity guidelines. So also really interesting, really important. I'll be showing you the assets that I built later. But let's go for the branding right now. In this case, as you know, in this project, I didn't need to create a logotype. That was also quite a little bit easy. But also, you can see how we can start to apply. So I will show you the results of brand identity guidelines. There's a lot of back and forth process of confirmations, approvals, and conversations. But generally, I would say not really that much a lot. There will be back and forth. But I will show you the final result. And you will see here, I like this because it sets in stone the guidelines and the style for people to follow, for organization to follow, and everyone else who will give this document to, they will have to respect those guidelines. Whatever marketing, sales, designers, coders, you name it, and internal culture, all of them have to respect this, and it's easy. It saves time, saves budget, and it removes headache. So it's important to register that correctly. And I always like to say that even when we go for the website, for the coding, you reveal new elements to register. So that is why it makes sense to continue evolving, putting edition 1, edition 2, edition 3. It always depends on what client values and how much budget they're ready to invest, if they value and understand the importance of the branding consistency across the touch points, digital touch points, physical touch points, values, beliefs, mission, vision, corporate culture. That is rarely I see that successful businesses in a market in a big scale, of course, they understand the consistency, importance of it, understanding user needs, understanding the pain, the gain, understanding the competitive marketplace, understanding their business goals, and having the hierarchy of their roadmap and culture. Really keys the culture and vision, values and vision communicated across the organization to the culture are really important, and to keep that consistent into the successful work, really important. And I think when you value that, you understand where you should be investing your money, understanding that defining things and putting branding and consistency is a key for audience that you target, for competitors to stand against, who you stand against in a market, and of course the corporate culture to want to be part of your brand, to be excited to spread the word, to say, hey, I am working in this organization, I'm enjoying it, I like to be part of it, they care about me, leadership cares about me. So a lot of things to be under the consideration. So let me continue about the branding. I just wanted to share this with you. So this is how it looks like. So registration, you can see that we have like 42 pages or so. This is, I think, this one of the biggest documents that I did as a first edition. So you can see we register regular, always the logo, the primary and secondary. I write the text describing the guidelines. Again, we can expand and make it better, make a better explanation and understanding. It depends how much we want to be involved and how much my commitment is needed in this. So, measurements, all these assets are registered in a folder for them in a cloud, some storage that they can access and use and download. So you can see different explanations, color codes. So this is important. You can see in scale. Here, this is the also explanation of difference: sun yellow, sky blue, and orchid. These are branches category colors. We see the logo in application to different color and primary, secondary, and so on. We see the hierarchy of the text. The scaling. Here, I would say I gave too much detail. These days, I understand more principle-based. I would not go that much detail, but I'll build it in a principle hierarchy. If you'll check, I'll be presenting to you Luma Art, for example, as the latest brand book that I did, best probably to because it's latest. And this one is like 5-6 years ago. The Luma Art is just 2025, around December, November. So you will see how different they are in, more refined and more precise. Even though I would say this is really well done, it's just I'm giving too much explanation, too much detail that it can be over confusing for people, those who follow. But it's their choice how to represent. But what I like about typography is that you need to show the hierarchy and composition. Here, I like to show, you can see how it comes together, and it's important to respect and follow that. I really like to have specific, really, really precise guidelines, so they can apply it correctly to stay consistent without my presence. Here we present also a good description. I like to describe also really well, so you can see assets that we present and why we present them. And they have these assets to use, describing the ROM, when we use, how we use it. These patterns they can use if they want to. I provided them with these. You'll see how I'll apply that in website. This is really interesting. I needed to select from photo stock. I selected, I will tell you this. So the photography is the most time-consuming process to select correctly, and it's a luxury if your client open to have unique photography to be done custom, and even more luxury if they have already assets done with some professional photographer, or they are ready to allocate budget for photography to be done custom professionally. This is luxury. In this case, of course, stock images, then it takes a lot of time to select the right choice. And that's what I did. I selected, they purchased, and I describe correctly what kind of people we are presenting and how they presented on the shot. So it's really interesting to describe. And this was done before AI. So, it's time consuming to write text correctly. I enjoy writing text and making the right guidelines, explaining. I like to play with words and articulations. Really interesting. But these days it will be easy. I would actually write something and feed it to AI, and AI will give me, and I'll be back forth with AI to make it natural good, but it'll be sharpened and grammatically well. So then the footage, really interesting. So in cinematics and footage, I give 3 examples, and it's really interesting to say we are like this, but we are not. For example, in this case, Noman is too dark. So I say we are as cinematic as they are. I'm not reading, but just right now remembering that we are as cinematic as they are, but we're not as dark as they present themselves. So it's really interesting to position. You need to remove what you think we should not follow and present what we're actually emphasizing here. So really beautiful. And assets, for example, assets are presented, photography, of course, but cinematics as a reference is also presented in a folder for them to see the cinematic videos. So in order to recreate that sense, because no one really shows really well the location and the venue. And then they show the real people conversations and cinematic touch. I like it. And students. Here also the founder, really good conversation, really good tone, really good atmosphere, good different camera angles and some plantation. And also this one is like hands-on, so to say, also cinematic, really beautiful, immersive. You can see natural colors and so on. So these 3 guidance was really well presented. Then we have assets, of course, really important social media. Assets. We have presenting how it looks like with icon, without icon, circle, square. We have the LinkedIn, Twitter. We have the Facebook mobile device and desktop, and all these assets are provided. And then we have different branches. You can see Scala as the generic. Here you go, students and alumni. Really great to have differentiation there and descriptives there. Also, I'm presenting. We haven't created those booklets. They could come to me, but because this is quite on proper budget and requirements, are we presenting the different options of how it can look like? Because I created anyways through the process. I show how books are looking like, how we can use it, and I give them those assets of guidance. So really beautiful. This is how you can use the book, and this is used on the mockups. Really interesting to see these things in real life and physical application that really gives a sense of reality. You can see how color starts to be applied. So there's always, as I say, like 2nd edition will be interesting to build these assets and create. I will be honest with you. I like to be honest about the process working with clients. In this case, I would say these clients appreciate the whole work and everything. I must say what I noticed for the process is that I witnessed that they don't really value that much that consistency and professional. They don't have a sense towards the professional look and feel. And I don't think they have enough value to continue these guidelines. So unfortunately, I don't see them being realized. I don't see them willing to continue with the 2nd edition, 3rd edition, coming back to evolve into this. And I see how often I see how clients end up distorting the websites and butchering the places. I'll be honest, not only this client, many clients, to be honest. This is what happens. And I like to say also in the previous videos, I said that we didn't see many projects seeing light as a designers, I suspect, properly in the market and growing massively. Startups die like 90% so they die, and we don't see them fulfilling. But these guys are already in the market, they're successful, don't get me wrong, and they just don't value, I think, that consistency. Because why would they? Because they're already successful in the market. What would they? But I think should they notice that the challenge in the market start to appear, they might notice that branding consistency and the depth will be needed, and they might be coming back if they will be interested. Anyways, so I like to build this consistency, beautiful feel as if it's already existing. So everything is here. That's what I like. That's what I recommend, to have one person to represent, like myself, like doing branding and assets of graphics like these, as well as the website and coding and product design. Because you can come to the same person and we can continue from where we stopped, and we can follow those brand guidelines in better, saving time and budget, and keeping the consistency. Of course, again, this created so anyone can follow, but it's really sometimes can be challenging to find someone who can continue that consistency correctly, weaving in to update. So it's luxury to find a professional to continue in the same tone. So that is the whole document, and it can continue and evolve. For example, you can integrate, if you value, you can integrate into the brand guidelines, the website guidelines, the buttons, and text and so on, digital presentation, physical presentation, you name it. As you evolve, there's a lot of things to present, how to present it. So you can see these are the booklets, the photography, and I had some assets. This is a stand. I don't remember how you call this, but I created a couple of versions for them. When you use an office or you use in some kind of fair that you participate in, you put this stand that is printed on the material, kind of plastical surface material, whatever. So this is what we created. It's also really good to know. I like to see these in real. We have some business cards, we have some email signatures and newsletters and some kind of guidelines, also some social media assets to present also, and different stuff. And some ideas, always, I like to say that I have some ideas that I keep for the side that I see they were not applied yet, but I see the beautiful approach to present them. So you can see how they can be presented. Interesting to see there's no text in the box. So yeah, different presentation in different aesthetics. So that is the branding. And then when we approve the branding, we move to the website. This also was massive. So I like to say, well, in this case, sitemap is quite quick, because I'm continuing the whole process and kind of sometimes go easy. So basically a landing page that split them into different for the generic, for the students, for the alumni. And then they go for the programs, all these programs that they'll have. We have about us, we have contact us, terms of use and privacy policy, and some descriptors that I had in my mind. There'll be desktop, mobile device, and tablet. And as in a hierarchy of priority, kind of quick structure here. I could dissect it into more detail than thought, but it was quite relatively quick. Then I go to the wireframes. Let's see, I think this one will be quite quick. So I have two phases for the wireframes. I have some references side by side and just go with the idea. So the idea is just to put the text information in some aesthetical way, but I will not be using that. We have categorization here right away, shifting with the imagery. I will not be going into the wireframes that long. You will see that here's, for example, we see this is the idea, the first wireframes, when you just put text, thoughts, what goes after the another, what is important for the user to see, and so on. And then you discuss with the client or decision makers if you want to. If not, when you're professional, in my case, I usually jump really quickly myself. I already know what needs to be done. So I have this kind of approach, just presenting some text. Again, copywriting. Text should be provided from this side. If they don't have it, they can ask me. I can bring someone on board, so to say, to work shoulder to shoulder to build the content strategy and content. Content strategy is the key. Sometimes and often, actually, I need to communicate to my client that the copy is the key, content strategy is the key before we do the wireframes. So, and this is something I get them ready before we will continue and know when to start already thinking about it. So, just generally different approach of presenting information. Messy, again, chaotic, can be whatever, courses, presentation, and so on, sign in. Let's see what else, and so on. This will be the corporate, this will be students, this will be alumni. So, thinking through the whole thing, how to present. And some places, for example, videos, sometimes there's too much complex things that I'm presenting, and sometimes we dumb it down not to overwhelm, especially when we don't have any video assets. So I say, okay, let's hide the assets. Case studies will be amazing, but they have case studies, but to make a video case studies, that's really beautiful. Like I presented in cinematic. But again, there must be a commitment from everyone who's involved into building this, to build cinematics, to do the photography, to decide really quickly how we can build these things here and there. But I noticed that it was not that much valuable, let's say, in their corporate culture or in decision-making position, these things, or maybe they were occupied with other things than this website for them. But I would say they should be interesting and important to present that value. But again, it's always hard to evaluate everything to make sure that everyone is on aligned, so to say, time-wise, budget-wise, and you name it. So yeah, programs, some idea for one program, because it's CMS, all of them will be repetitive structure, following the same structure. Every program, there'll be a lot of programs, there'll be quite a work to do. So following wireframes. Let's see, wireframes 2. Okay, this is more refined. You can see this is how it's going to look like. Exactly. You can see it's clean, and also mobile version to the side. I'm not always doing that, but sometimes I do that just to predict, especially back in times. These days, I'm kind of already know that it's going to fit, especially when I will be coding. That's what I like to say. When I will code myself, I usually skip mobile device design because I know I'll make it in Webflow. But if I will not be coding and they will have someone else to code the process, of course, I'll provide the mobile device because I want them to follow the consistency. But I do have the structure of different, sometimes back in times I did kind of iPhone 14, iPhone is the smallest SE. These days, I'm right away checking on the small and here and there. And you don't even need to do this when you're professional. But I recommend, if you're a designer, if you're just starting or maybe 4 or 5 years through, I would recommend you anyways to do the mobile device and so on. You need to learn eventually and notice what fits. For example, here you see it doesn't fit. So, I need to rethink about it. So let's see. So you start to see how it started to be clean. I love the process when we'll be applying the visuals on top of the wireframes. You can see always wireframes not always perfectly exactly. Visuals are not will be exactly as wireframes. It's always evolving. I like to say that it's sculpture that we're chiseling. And you can see this rhomb start to be at play as if indicator to scroll down. Rhomb indicator for the testimonials. We'll have testimonials for each, from the corporate, from the students, from the alumni, into the categories, distributing them into their own categories. Case studies will be good, some references here, but not everything going to be followed like that because we just don't have assets prepared on their side, and they can bring it once they're ready, so to say. So let me see what else. Yeah, so wireframes, you can see we're building a lot of them. We have some references inside. So these are the wireframes for every page: the landing page, the corporate, students, alumni, and the course. I think even 2 courses. About us, about us, and the course. These is the wireframes done, and then we will be going to the visuals application, which is actually on the same page. It's interesting. Back in time, it seems like I was keeping it in one place. So you see how broad that is, and because I have side by side some kind of references if I want to follow. Here also, these was really good inspiration again. And then we bringing everything together. So you can see that I like this process because we started to see branding with wireframes coming together. Beautiful point. Without wireframes and jumping right away into the visuals, it's a messy process, unreliable, not approved with navigation, content strategy, and you name it. So it's important to approve wireframes. It's important to have right branding approval. And then when they come together, it's actually quite quick process, relatively quick process to build, because nothing stops you. So we start to build. This is really interesting, like kind of asset as a cover for their website. Some assets I like to build aside the buttons you can see here, the variables, or how I call them, components that I can reuse and change really quickly in Figma. Some colors, very good colors, and really well presented. You see photography, when you do the brand identity right, you can right away have assets that I have provided really quickly to use that were purchased, and there's no trouble. Even all assets that we build quickly to use and build. It's beautiful. When you don't have brand identity, when you work with the designers to build some physical digital assets as collaterals, or these like websites and coding, it's really hard for designer, and they will need to do like myself. Like if I don't have any brand guidelines well done, it takes much more time for them to find the right decisions, and that costs you more to pay them, or they will not be happy because they will have to do more job. If they are junior, if they don't know, if they don't have enough expertise, they'll not be able to evaluate their time right. So they'll be their reality will not be fitting their expectation, and they'll need to spend more time on things that they thought will be quickly. But just because you didn't have brand identity, it will take them more time. They'll earn less, or they'll charge you more. And it'll be not also probably professional, trustworthy, consistent results just because you don't have right assets to provide because you didn't value the brand identity. So it really saves a lot of time, headache, and budget, to be honest, in the long run, strategic thinking. So that's what I noticed. That's what I like to point out. Beautiful different presentations here and there, just assets that I will have. You'll see all these assets I'm putting aside to use, reuse in a website. Like this menu was really quite something to build also. And having in my mind that I will have to code it, so I'm predicting not to overwhelm myself with code as well. So our program, so when you open, they have organization only or for everyone. So they have different categorization. When you take for everyone, you'll see that some of them are specifically for organization. That was quite a lot of courses that I will need to do as CMS. And let's see. So let's go into this. I think I had this. This is additional menu that will follow us. You'll see. So, I will be showing you shortly visuals, and then we'll go to the coding with you. So you can see in the beginning, I just used everywhere the image, just image this as a placeholder. And then I will be in Webflow right away, changing those images, selecting more photography to use. So I'm not wasting my time here, even though I could actually do this step here, choosing right photography. But I decided to quickly approve visuals and go to the coding, probably because the flow of work was like that disposed. So anyways, really beautifully, and you'll see the photography will be better presented, but so far, not yet. So a beautiful on-brand positioning. This is kind of some negative kind of saying, if you have problem here and there, This is the units that they have and so on, the positive steps and so on. And the video will not be there, for example, because they don't have it yet. For example, branding, beautiful assets, icon selection. This you will see. I will be showing you. And they will need to select the right person as a testimonial. It's also something they probably on their website, they will not follow this. On my website, I use these photos as a reference for aesthetics, but they should follow the guidelines and take the testimonials, real testimonials, put the right information, put the photography. I don't know, maybe they have it. I should be checking their position right now. So you can see how we distribute users into by the color code, so students and alumni. Idea was to give these case studies. They'll be also not there because they don't have them yet. Here we distribute them to the courses, so you can shift between different courses, the main ones, the micro courses, even by the color, yellow and black, differentiation, mission, how many people, so to say, some kind of events. We'll see. We'll see right now in coding if everything is like that. There will be some evolution and changes. So you can see in the beginning, I thought to distribute courses like that. Maybe they will be like that. You see, image is just a placeholder, but there'll be specific image. There'll be a lot of work, to be honest, for every course to select the right photography. That's quite a process that I will be going through for the whole thing. It's basically same structure for all of them, corporate, students and alumni. The only difference that maybe this one will not be, I will see, I'm curious. The only difference thing will be alumni having extra call to action. They have their own courses for the categorization base. They have their own FAQs. I don't know who will be doing that. And events, so to say. So some kind of distributing them to different types. About us also will be different photo. I will see. I'm curious to see what it will have there. Team. They will be using their team. Or values, philosophy. And that's how course looks like. When you scroll, this menu will be sticky. It'll be sticky like this. You'll see. So once you go through, you'll see, because you'll be navigating through this website, scrolling through. So basically it's a problem, solution, offer, how this works, module, you get access to this and this and this, who's this for, and you see content is not there yet. So it will be something done in the wrong pace, be provided when I'll be through the coding process. And here this last call to action, enroll now. And that's it. So that's kind of website visuals. Let's go to the coding now and see how it looks like. So ideally, for clients, it will be good for me to update the visuals the way I will have Webflow. But it also depends on how much we committed into the project, or how much my commitment is needed, and how much they actually value this process, how much they're going to reuse the Figma. Then if that's in a high demand, high need, and high commitment, I would recommend to offer them for me to go and bring from Webflow to design exactly how I evolved in the Webflow. It's extra work. It's quite a process to go back and forth to update. But in this case, in this project, I did it. It was not needed. So let's go into the code itself. So it's really interesting. So you can see the idea was also to put the video on loop. You can see the whole results. I'm here showing you in Webflow mode right now. So because I can show you responsiveness in a second, you can see this arrow allows us to go back. Our programs, as I showed, so you can select every program. And they have their categories, and you can go for everyone. Not all of them, for example, are for everyone. And we have about, you can see even color code gives for Scala alumni, for individuals, about us, for organizations, really beautifully used color codes. The text also well done. Learn more, it will scroll us down. To learn more, you can see how you hover over, it gives this kind of responsiveness. Featured programs, I'm curious, it's going to take us to featured programs down here. Okay, beautiful. And then I can click this arrow back. Really convenient, something to think about. Good video on a loop that I selected the photography footage and I combined them into one video and upload into the Webflow. Here we can shift between these categories also by color, and you can just click arrows to shift and to read about everything. Start from here. You can go right away for it's for organization, for example. Start from here. For individuals, you can go here for individuals or here. Really beautiful color coding as well. And here for Scala alumni, for Scala alumni. I think it's really well done with arrows and buttons. And then the initial one, really beautifully done. So we can go through. Let's do this. We can go here. Here I also spend some time to select right photography. Quite a process, to be honest, to make a right on brand. Really beautiful seeing different people as a student, as an organization, as some kind of leader, manager, maybe some kind of freelancer working. So really good also and challenge for them to do content strategy, to be honest, not to overwhelm. The trouble always often you meet with clients is that they are willing, because they fall in love with their project, they fall in love with it, they want to say everything. So they start to overwhelm websites and all these assets with a lot of information. And there is where I need to point out to them. I'm pointing out to the clients, hey, people didn't have a right attention span. It's just people will not be encouraged and curious to read when you overwhelm people with information. So you need to be concise to the point and learn this. This is why I always recommend to find the right copywriter, to find a content strategist who's actually professional. Often, I notice that decision makers, clients that I serve as the decision makers in business, they think that they can do the content themselves. That's true, because they want to say everything themselves. But this is something they need to invest themselves into, to find the right copywriter and content strategist, to communicate to them, to have a therapies with them, to communicate. They will have to go for the process to extract their mind into the paper and be able to have someone who will be able to communicate them in a concise and proper flow way, working as a content strategist and copywriter together with, as myself, as the one who builds website and branding and products. It's really important for them to work shoulder to shoulder in order to arrive to the right conclusion through the flow, to speak to the user needs, pain, gain, sell that, demonstrate that we are the only one in the market to choose, and to demonstrate the call to action to give them the solution for their pain. That's important from my side, but because my expertise ends, I do give the placeholders with AI, also do give direct guidelines, but it's a luxury from my side to work with my client who is understanding that the content strategy and copywriter, it is one more extra person needed in that part in order to make it much more successful. So that's what I wanted to inform to you, but really beautifully put. The text, the font, the color, the photography, and it's really time consuming when you want to achieve that consistency level. So this is good. Also, some kind of troubles, worried about cash flow, concerned about efficiency, and misled by training promises. Really good way to follow the relatability with the pain. So 3 pain points that we indicate for the whole category. Some alumni, years, organization, impact. This is my version. I was not updated 45 years ago. I don't know what they have on the website right now. I'm not really sharing their results because I witness they just, as I mentioned, not really following the proper guidelines, and they butchered the whole process. And it's not something that is my responsibility. My responsibility is to give this observation and recommendation. But it's okay, I learned from my expertise that I'm just accepting the way it is. If organizations follow this way, maybe they just don't value that consistency. So that's totally okay. So I like to present something that I see how it should have been done. And so some text, really bite-sized pieces, steps, what you need, and meet our clients. And that's space to improve places, I would say, in UX, but it's not in UX, but in a way of distributing people, perhaps, maybe more giving them value or something like that. Anyways, but it's really well professionally presented. Results to expect for organizations, for individuals, for Scala alumni. What our clients say. Again, here should be their case, not case studies, but testimonials, what they say. This is the clients say. And then we distribute them to organizations, same as for organizations, this one. And then we have the participants say, that's the students, what they say. And then we distribute them for individuals, right? That's the color. And then we say what alumni say. That's really interesting. We want to distribute them on the landing page. And then if you're alumni, you can go there. So there's many ways for you to go into the categories and into the programs. So it's really well done, actually, user experience. I would say it's quite well done. Our signature programs. So we put all programs as a signature here. You can discover more here. And specifically this one. So you can shift between them. What I would do, instant loading images. At the time, I think I did it, but it's okay. It's not that bad. So here is like signature programs, really well. And then we have micro programs also. Also, these photographies I needed to select, and I really wanted to be on brand and communicating the course, like workshop, food handling certificate. Really, I like specific proper photos. I don't like stock look-like photos. I want it to look as if real. So I needed to select it right. So you can discover. You can see even color code. Here's green. Here's also green, but the yellow is here. And the black, as you can see the differentiation. Really, really well done. Our mission, okay, this kind of what they target in 2025. It's interesting because it's interesting what year I built it. That's funny that they have by 2025. Or maybe this is the code of the year. I don't remember. Maybe I coded it in Webflow. to indicate the year that is ahead or past. I don't know. Connect with us. Email. Okay, good. Be the first. Okay, that's good. Subscription. New green kind of thing. It's the same. So we have green and red. Red is negative and green positive. That is not on brand, but more about the positivity and negativity. And a lot of pages here also they can go into the contact information basics and social media. Scala 2020 third year. Okay, it was 2-3 years ago I built this one. So we can go back and let me see if I should be going that deeply into everything. I think we can go quicker right now, and then I'll show you the mobile version for organizations. To learn more or choose your program. Yeah, it's really convenient. You can go just right away to choose your program, and that's it. Our Scala programs, specifically for organizations, I guess. Yeah, so you can go and explore. Yeah, a lot of work is done here. You see right away price or short description of what is this all. It could be better. I would love to evolve this, but it was just already too much to build, to be honest, based on the budget and timing. So I need to be quick to make sure I'm making the right decision. So here is all programs for organizations, but let's go back. So basically they follow the same photo that we had in the beginning and just generic. Again, it's too much text. Now here we start to see a lot of text and we must dumb it down the text, but I need you to accept the way it is. Some negatives specifically for organizations, some positives specifically for organizations. Invest in your people, choose your programs. Our clients praise. This is all praise, all testimonials for organizations, not only 3 of them. We are experience training guides. Again, this may be too much text, some kind of call to action. Imagery also good to select. Impact to expect, also good point. But I would say content strategy and copy could be much more towards the pain. You need to know your user better, I think. But it's acceptable, I would say. Let's go for individuals. Also same, different color codes. Oh, this one should be blue though, but it's okay. So it'll be the same. Okay, we'll not be going for the whole thing. On the imagery, you can see that pleasant imagery difference in color. Their own programs, Scala alumni. Yellow as blue. There's something messed up here. It should be purple, but yeah, who cares? I know it's my version, so maybe I just uploaded. I suspect I just uploaded this version to myself quicker, and then I continued on their account of Webflow, I guess. But anyways, so okay, just photography and differentiation. This is one different point here. Let's see, what do we have about us? Okay, that's the map about us. Learn more, our team. They'll have their team. You see the right parameters. This is too much text again. I was already quick, but they didn't have the right attention. AI was not yet in a market correctly, so we're going quickly. Their team photography, really glad that they have this consistency of their photography. And our values, it could be better. Again, it's just you start to notice that the content and copy was suffering, to be honest, and there was something lacking for me to work with this. And this is where I see the consistency start to suffer. Let's see if we, but nevertheless, the results are good. You know, there's space to improve with the content. Let me see. Let's go to the responsiveness, perhaps, just to show you that we are responsive here. You can see when you get to the touch point of the tablet, we have this kind of menu indicator, also unique. You can see that fits, and so on. I will not be going into every detail. You can see that it's just responsive. You can see the menu appears like that. And our programs will be able to choose your programs like that, for everyone or not. For individuals, about us, so you can shoot between them, something like that. So let's go back to the preview of let's enter one of the organizations. Brand 10 experience, let's say. There you go. So when you explore this is where we're taking them to explore every course. And you can learn more and enroll right away. So when you scroll down, you can see that we're going to go, again, too much text. This is the only indicator that I see we have space to improve, especially is the dumb down the text, think better about content strategy to make sure that we actually relate with the user and not to overwhelm them, to make sure that they're not losing their attention, and we answer on all of the questions. So you see this menu is stacking on top of those, so that's going to follow us. So we can shift between the general website or navigate this specific course and enroll now, or we can check prices, which is full, for example. really good, but again, text could be improved. I understand content strategy and copy is just a lot of programs to write content for. So exactly, and this is the case when you actually need exactly some kind of content strategist and designer. So anyways, how this works, what is inside, and who is this for, so to say, and then you go to the price. And you can enroll. So that's the whole website that I wanted to present to you. I am happy with this one. I always see every project. I'm really excited. Every project like Dark Matter that you saw before, perhaps, that I presented, or Wild Studio, Game Studio, and this one right now, even the Virtue Heart, I see, and right now I'm presenting all of them, and I'm saying, wow, how interesting, how well we can build every brand, every business to such a level to deliver such a great results for people to experience, to stand in the market well, and to generate revenue for these businesses. If only we communicate and make sure that we are having a strategic plan and making sure that we're building things that serves our business, serves the market. Branding serves the market and business, as well as the right website is a sales funnel that is also sells, but also demonstrates what we stand for, communicates with users from branding perspective, marketing, sales, right? And all point is to get the business goals achieved, and that must serve that. All I create is serving the business goals and user needs. That's it. This was Emerge with you. Let me go to my LinkedIn, and so I'm finally presented Scala to you also. Really happy about that. They did a great job. I'm happy that I had the opportunity to work with them. It was an interesting project. You can see how we built from nothing something, and there's a way to continue evolving that and keeping that all weaved in consistently, professionally, and trustworthy degree. That's it. This was Emerge with you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.